We all think we know the rose, right? It's the go-to for love, for beauty. But what if I told you that simple flower is hiding some incredible secrets? We're talking secrets of survival, of mind-blowing science, and even immense value. Secrets that stretch back millions and millions of years.
So yeah, let's peel back those petals and dive into a story I'm willing to bet you've never heard before. The big question is, what exactly is this flower hiding?
Well, for starters, it's age. The story of the rose, it doesn't begin in some garden or a flower shop. No, we have to go back, way back, 35 million years ago. That's long, long before humans were even a thing.
And get this, here's another little secret for you. That famous, beautiful smell, it's not constant. Some roses can actually change their scent on purpose. It's like a carefully timed signal with a very specific goal. And we're going to get into exactly what that is in just a bit.
And maybe the most surprising secret of all, there is a rose out there that became, in a very real way, more valuable than gold. Seriously, stick with me, because I promise by the end of this, you will never, ever look at a rose the same way again.
All right, let's start with its incredible history. Because the rose, it's so much more than just a pretty face. It is, without a doubt, one of nature's great survivors.
Just look at this number. 35 million years. That's how long fossils tell us roses have been around. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We're not just talking about a flower here, we're talking about a living fossil.
And that's what's so fascinating, right? It's this huge contrast. We look at it and we see something delicate, maybe even fragile. But the reality? Wild roses are unbelievably tough. These things have survived ice ages, they've survived insane droughts, terrible soil, for millions of years.
Okay, so we've established it's an ancient survivor. Now, let's shift gears and look at it as a masterpiece of science. Because all that beauty, it's not random. Not at all. It's actually governed by some incredible hidden rules.
So let's talk about that fragrance. That iconic smell of a rose isn't just one thing. It's actually this super complex chemical cocktail made up of hundreds of different compounds. And they're all mixed together for a very, very specific evolutionary purpose.
And here's where we see that purpose in action. It's so smart. Some roses are absolute masters of timing. They'll pump out their strongest scent in the morning to attract bees. Then, later in the day, maybe they'll switch it up, release a totally different blend to call out to moths in the evening. It's basically a targeted advertising campaign, but for pollinators. How cool is that?
And it's not just chemistry, it's also math. I mean, look at the petals. That classic spiral arrangement, it follows the Fibonacci sequence. You know, that same universal pattern we see in seashells, in pine cones, even in giant spiral galaxies. The rose's beauty is literally written in a mathematical code.
Okay, so the rose is an ancient survivor and a scientific marvel. But there's another layer here. It's also become a symbol of immense value. And I'm not just talking about emotionally. We're talking secrets, power, and a very, very high price tag. You think roses are just a nice, affordable gift? Well, think again. We absolutely have to talk about one specific variety that just shattered all expectations of what a single flower could possibly be worth.
Okay, so take a look at this one. This is the Juliet rose. It's pretty much a perfect bloom, right? That soft, beautiful peach color. The breeder, David Austin, spent 15 years creating it. So any guesses? How much do you think that cost him?
$5 million. Yep, $5 million. That was just the development cost, which made it the most expensive rose ever created at the time. This was way beyond just gardening. It was an epic 15-year quest for perfection.
And you know, beyond just money, the rose has always symbolized these really powerful and often contradictory ideas. The Romans, for example, would throw rose petals at parties, but they'd also hang a single rose from the ceiling to signal that anything said in that room was top secret, confidential. That's actually where we get the phrase sub rosa, or under the rose. And then, of course, it was the symbol for both sides in a brutal war for the English throne.
So for this last section, let's kind of zoom out and broaden our view a bit. Because that classic red rose we all picture is just one member of a huge, surprisingly diverse, and incredibly useful family of plants.
I mean, when you picture a rose, you probably don't picture these, do you? But they're all roses. Some of them look like tiny little pom-poms. Others have these wild striped petals. And some are such a deep, dark red they look almost black. They're often used to symbolize mystery or rebirth.
And they're definitely not just for looking at. We actually use them all the time. Rose petals show up in food, right? In teas and desserts. Rose oil is one of the most precious essential oils on the planet. It takes literally thousands of flowers to make just a few drops. And it's not just folklore. Science has actually confirmed that rose extracts have real anti-inflammatory properties.
And this one really brings all the secrets together. Survival, history, resilience. In Germany, there's a rose bush known as the 1,000-year rose. It's been growing on the side of a cathedral for over a millennium. During World War II, the building was completely bombed out, and the rose was thought to be destroyed. But from the ruins, its roots survived. It grew back. It bloomed again. I mean, if that's not the ultimate symbol of endurance, I don't know what is.
So the next time you see a rose, I want you to remember all this. Ask yourself, are you really just looking at a pretty flower? Or are you looking at a 35-million-year-old survivor, a mathematical marvel, a symbol of secrets and power, a silent story of incredible resilience, all wrapped up in a single beautiful bloom?